Hey y'all, so I received a request to do a video pertaining to how to get over someone. And for those of us who are not icy cold, you know, ice cubes or manipulative, lying, narcissistic monsters, for those of us who actually can feel when someone, when a relationship breaks up, it's really hard. It's really hard, but there are some coping mechanisms, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. First of all, allow yourself to feel the grief, pain, and loss. Do not try to resist how you feel. Okay. Don't hold back. Don't try to prevent yourself from crying. Don't do any of those things because when you suppress emotions, more often than not, they come out, but they come out in the form of anger and resentment, and you may snap on someone you care about because you suppressed your emotions and now you're pissed off because the emotions are going to turn into anger a lot of times. And that person, you may hurt someone, and now you've lost your best friend or you lost someone who's close to you because you snapped on them and you hurt them in such a way that I'm sorry doesn't cut it. So allow yourself to feel what you need to feel because that's perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's part of the grieving process. Um, write down what you didn't like about that person because our brains tend to only remember the good and the highlights of a relationship and it blurs the bad. No one is perfect, so yes, there were things that weren't great. Okay. Our brains do that. I don't know why. Don't even ask me. I have no clue. Probably to protect ourselves. Our brains go into this. But it was so wonderful. If it was so wonderful, y'all would still be together. If it was destiny for you to be together, you would still be together. Um, People have a tendency to remember only good. And like I said, I do believe that's your brain's way of protecting you from the pain. You only remember the good, the good, the good, the good. You don't remember when it wasn't good. And, you know, obviously there were times when it wasn't good. You can't make someone feel connected to you no matter how much you try. So even if you care more about them than they care about you, you cannot, if it's not mutual, you have to move on. You cannot make somebody feel something they don't feel. You cannot um tell them constantly, remember this, remember that, we had so much fun, we should go back to that. If that person isn't feeling you like that, there's nothing you could do to make them come around or make them get a wake-up call. If they're not feeling you, they're not feeling you, and every person who's capable of feeling has been down that road where it's a one-way deal. Is it awful? Yes. Does it happen? Yes. But we'll get stronger through time. It doesn't feel like it at the time, but we will get better and stronger through time. Don't stalk them on social media, delete pictures, block them on your phone. Um, you definitely don't want to stalk them and watch what they're doing and, oh, there was somebody else. What did that person do that's so magical that they're with that person? You don't know what they're going through in the relationship, and you don't know if they're gonna last in the long haul, and even if they do, maybe that's who they're supposed to be with for whatever reason, but you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and, that's not really our deal anymore. We're not with that person, so it doesn't matter what they're going through. We have to worry about what we're gonna go through and to process our emotions and let them live their life, and it's hard. It's not easy, but it can be done and needs to be done so you can preserve your sanity. If you have mutual friends, make sure they don't keep you updated on that person. Let them know you're trying to move on. You don't have to snap on them and say, we're not together, right? You don't need to okay? You don't need to snap on them, but just let them know, okay, that's all well and good, but we're not together and I'm trying to move on with my life and do what I need to do. So, you know, Good for them, but I'm trying to do, what I need to do. Um, so another thing that's super powerful is keeping a journal. You don't have to be a woman to keep a journal. Guys can keep a journal too. Um, and the reason why writing a journal is so very important is because those thoughts will swirl around in your head forever and just go around and around and around and around with no escape route. When you write a journal, you're able to put your thoughts on paper and you give them an exit so they could stop swarming around in your head because that drives you crazy. Just write a journal. And there's no proper way to do it. If you want to rant, rant. If you want to cuss, cuss. If you want to say, I hate your guts. I hate that I'm feeling all this pain because of you. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no rules. You just write whatever you're feeling. And one thing that you're going to notice that if you keep a steady journal, as you heal, you will see a change in what you wrote. And you will see the days that you have felt better. And that will give you hope for the more, days like that. And you'll go back and read when you were ranting, and you might even laugh like, damn, I was really pissed off. Oh my God. You know, it doesn't feel like you'll laugh now because you're in the midst of it. But even people who have done really nasty things to me, they're manipulative, they're a liar, they're control freak because they're so small. They feel smaller than an ant, so they feel the need to dominate and control somebody. Now I laugh at it because it was just so asinine and ridiculous. You don't tell grown people what the fuck to do. You do not. You don't. You don't. You don't. But when you're with a broken person, that's what they do. And now it's comical. And me and my friends joke about it. We laugh our asses off because it's so stupid. We make fun of that person all the time because, I mean, how small do you have to feel to dominate other people? Anyway, it's kind of comical. It wasn't comical at the time. I wanted to choke the shit out of him. But, now it's at the point where it's funny because it's so ridiculous to do that to someone. Um, and another thing that our brains do is sometimes it leads us to believe, I don't know why our brains do this, but they do, it does, leads us to believe that we can't survive without this person. I can't move on. I cannot, you know, I can't live my life without them. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You want the proof? Let me give you some proof. Because you were doing fine before you met them. You survived just fine before you met them. You will survive after them. But because the pain is so great, it feels like your world has stopped. Like you're going down the road, quickly in the car and somebody slammed the brakes on, and you just feel like your whole life has stopped. And it hasn't. It has not. It only feels that way, and everything that you're feeling now is temporary. There was a time when you didn't know them and you were fine. So you will be fine again. Time does help ease the pain. You have to be patient with yourself through the process. Time does, I don't know if it heals all wounds. I think that's kind of cliche, but it definitely softens the blow. Time definitely softens the blow. You will notice that if you can get past the first week or two, I'm going to say the first week or couple of weeks, if you can get through that initial sting of not being with them anymore, then you're past the worst of it. Because in the beginning, it's the hardest. Even if you didn't love that person, but you felt like you had a strong connection. It stings when you're no longer with them. And you will just give yourself patience through that time. I would say, like I said, a week, couple weeks. I'm going to say a couple weeks, maybe even a month. once you get past that, you're on the road to recovery. You're on the road to recovery anyway, but it just seems really slow moving in the beginning, okay? And things do get better as time goes on. Oh, let's see. Time is okay. Use this breakup as an opportunity to get to know you, okay? Time to develop a new hobby, to continue an existing hobby that you haven't done for a while. Some people will they get with somebody and that person is a control freak. That's not everybody's deal, but some people do that, and I've known people who've done it. One of my friends was into horses. She was desperate to be married, desperate to be accepted. Her father was lackadaisical as far as being a father, so she was really desperate for men attention and really desperate to get married. And when they were dating, she had plates. She had a collection of hand-painted horse plates with horses on them because she loves horses. Well, he didn't like those, so she put them away. That should be a red flag. If somebody doesn't like something that you're passionate about, which is none of their business, let's just keep it real, that's a red flag that you should not be with that person because that's all about control. That has nothing to do. Her horse plates ain't got nothing to do with you, sir. Okay? That's her deal. That's what she's excited about. If you're into this person, you would be cool with them having a hobby. You don't have to be into the hobby. It's not your hobby, it's theirs, and that's perfectly fine. It makes them happy. You should be happy that they're happy. So if they have an issue with that, well, you should have an issue with them. Can't stand control freaks. Ooh, God, how tiny do you feel that you have to do that? But some people will quit doing that. They'll get with somebody they painted, like say they're an artist and they painted, and then they notice that the longer this relationship went on, the further back the time frame was, and they're no longer painting. And if that's your passion, baby, don't give that up. You know what I'm saying? Now is the time to reclaim that. And sometimes y'all get so busy doing things that you don't have time to do that anymore. It's not a dysfunction thing. It's a we're always traveling or we're always doing things or we're always going here, there, and everywhere. So you kind of um, the hobby gets tossed to the back burner. Now is the time to get back into that and rekindle that hobby. Cater to yourself. Do something that you've never done before, even if it makes you nervous. Example, horseback riding, fishing, kayaking, hiking, going to the beach, reading. Um, reading is, from your favorite author, if you have a favorite author, or, utilize your local library and get books at no cost. Um, I mean, where I used to live, when it would snow, there'd be a snowstorm. I would sit by the window and I would open the curtain and have a cup of hot chocolate and I would listen to music. I would listen to DeBarge. Um, and I would just watch the snow and drink hot chocolate and just enjoy. It doesn't have to be over the top. It could just be something that simple where you create memories for yourself. Um, reading from your favorite author, taking long bubble baths, have a drink, sit by the window watching a rainstorm, create happy memories with yourself that make you smile. Volunteer for an animal shelter or hospital, maybe visit the elderly or people who have no family. If you are musically inclined, maybe you can play an instrument for patients in a facility, in a nursing home or something like that. Keep yourself busy, be patient with yourself, because as you go through this journey, some days will be better than others. That doesn't mean you aren't making progress. That's normal to have highs and lows. So if you're having a low spell, that doesn't mean you're not making progress. That is all part of the journey. Up and down is part of the journey. Spend time with your family members or friends. Be spontaneous with them. Go to a movie at the beginning of the week. Many movie theaters have cheap days in order to encourage people to go to the movies. because especially, like weekday. Usually I'm gonna say eh, Thursday through Sunday it could be pretty high. Um, you know, full price. But some theaters have where you know, you can go on a Tuesday because they don't really get any business on a Tuesday, right? People have to work Wednesday. So that would be a perfect idea and day to go on a Tuesday because it's cheaper. You get out of your head, you go and do something for yourself, and, you know, it's all good. It's all good. Another thing that's really soothing is nature. Nature sounds. There's nature machines that you could get that help clear, like, you know, even on YouTube, you can listen to live rainstorms and a fire crackling, a blizzard. You can listen to all of those things, and if it's live, you can just listen to it until you wake up. I mean, your brain will absorb that until you fall asleep and soothe you subconsciously while you're sleeping. If it's not live, then you can loop the video, and you can watch it, or not watch it because you're supposed to be going to sleep, right? You know what I mean? Like you can just play that, and I've done that. Thunder and lightning, thunderstorms, pretty cool. Now, if you are breaking up from a toxic relationship where that person's bad for you and it still hurts like hell that you're not with them, because that's possible too. You were bamboozled, you were tricked, you were led to believe that this person's such a nice person when in fact they aren't. They are very, very good at putting on the good person costume. Look at Gary Ridgway. I did a podcast on that last night. He was his family had no clue that he's a horrible person. And they've been around him for many years, obviously. He's family, and they had absolutely no clue because he was really, really, really good. People who are horrible are very, very, very good at pretending that they aren't. They're very good at that. Okay? They trick you, they bamboozle you, and it's just a bad situation. But once you find out, and you will find out, if they're a bad person, you will find out that they are not everything they portrayed themselves to be, that they're a fraud. Okay? For women especially, don't be afraid. Well, and guys too, because some guys are reluctant to get mad. If your partner is toxic and manipulative and a trickster and all of this, okay? Cheater, liar, the whole bit. They're going to mess with your head as often as they can. They're going to make you out to be the bad guy. You didn't even freaking do anything. But they're going to nitpick until they, going to pull out this microscope and search for problems, even if they're imaginary problems they have with you because you're flawed, right? You're not, but they don't want to be flawed by themselves. So they have to search you for imaginary problems and cause fighting for no reason. And I want you to don't be afraid to utilize your anger. And I don't mean haul off and punch them, although you're going to want to. I advise you that you don't, because that's bad. In your mind, you can punch them as much as you want to. But utilize your anger. Get disgusted. Get fed up. And you're going to be mad because you were tricked. Nobody takes kindly to being tricked. Nobody. Oh, wow, you bamboozled me. You led me to believe you're such a great person and led me to believe that this is how our life's going to be from now on, and it was all a lie. Oh, wow, that's great. Nobody's cool with that. So if you get pissed off and you say, you know what, I've had it. I am at the breaking point. I have absolutely had it. You don't have to even say one word to them. You can just block them and be done with them and never speak to them again. You don't have to give them an explanation. Why do you owe them an explanation? They weren't honest with you. They tricked you. They bent your brain. They led you to believe that you don't have any friends and no one gets along with you and you, when in reality it's actually them, but they can't face the shame of that. The shame of knowing that they're crap and a bad person and evil is like Mount Everest to them. They can't handle the height of that shame. So they have to redirect it to somebody. It don't matter who it is, just somebody. And their partner is a convenient person to direct that to. You are a bad person. You are argumentative. We can't take that trip that we're going to take because you like to argue and fight. When in reality, it's them that likes to argue and fight. They're real good at gaslighting you and leading you to believe that you're the problem. You are, you're just a loser, capital L loser. And they're really talking about themselves. So accusations are confessions, okay? Accusations are confessions. Stop feeling sorry for people who would not drop a cup of water on you if you were on fire. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Because every time you do that to somebody, you are abandoning yourself. You're abusing yourself for being abused. That makes absolutely no sense. You become an alcoholic because let me go ahead and destroy my liver because this person destroyed me. So let me destroy myself. Does that make any sense to you? Think about that logically. Does that make any sense to you? It doesn't, right? You're not a bad person. You've had people that cared about you your whole life. You've got family. You've got friends. Don't listen to the crap coming out of this poisonous person's mouth. Get pissed off and make a move. When you make a move, you will cut them off permanently. There is nothing they can say or do that's going to fix it. They've already took off the good person costume and they revealed who the hell they really, really, truly are. Get pissed off and be done with them. You are the CEO, CFO, president, and vice president of your life. Excuse me. You're in charge. You're the boss, applesauce. You are in charge. You do the hiring and the firing. And if somebody cannot be a good person for real, you're out. I don't need to discuss nothing with you. I don't even need to tell you I'm done with you. I could just block your ass. And of course, they're going to be a baby because that's what frauds do. Oh my God. Me and this person were together for so long and X amount of whatever time frame, and they just dumped me and stopped speaking to me. They're so horrible. I can't believe I'm going through this. You know what? Let me explain you something. Let me explain it. People that know you very well, they're not going for that. Okay? I can't go for that. No. No can do. Exactly. People that know you are not going to go for what this lying ass person is saying. You know, you think your friend is such a nice person. They talk about all of you like a dog. And you know that the people that know you know that that's not even your personality to talk about people and stab them in the back. That's not even your nature. So they're going to look at that person like, you know what, you need to go on somewhere. I've known them a hell of a lot longer than I've known you, and you're full of it. So I don't want to hear it. Get out of here. Get lost. Get to getting. Stop feeling guilty about protecting yourself. Stop feeling guilty about dumping somebody. Stop feeling sorry for them because they had a bad life. I don't give two shits about their life. I had a bad childhood. I probably shouldn't have survived it. The stress alone could have took me out of here. And God sent his angels to protect me, surround me with his angels that kept me protected. So no, no, we're going to make it in spite of them. We are going to move on with our life and find joy regardless of them. And the good thing about dealing with people that are that poisonous, they will never be happy. I don't care how many people they pull their pants down for. I don't care how many people they throw their legs up in the air for. They will never be happy. That is why they have to have constant validation. They have to have somebody up their grill. They need somebody admiring them because they know they're useless. They know they're a fraud. They know they're a nothingness. So they need external validation in order to breathe. Stop feeling sorry for bad people. They don't feel sorry for you. It's a one-way deal, and we don't want to do one-way deals. That doesn't work in our favor ever. Okay? So if it's a toxic situation, get pissed off, stop being so polite. Women are supposed to be proper and quiet and never raise their voice. Bullshit and triple layers of bullshit. If somebody gets on your god dang last nerve, you can let them know. You don't have to go through a long speech. You don't have to give them a 10-page text and outline all the things that they've done wrong to you. They know all the things they've done wrong to you. They don't care. Don't waste your time with them. Don't waste your energy. Put that emotion, Lord help me, I'm on a roll. Put that emotion towards yourself. Put that love and caring towards yourself. Do not beat yourself up for getting caught up in a bad relationship with someone. Don't beat yourself up about it because they misrepresented who they were. They can't come out and say, "Hi, my name is Brian, and I'm an asshole, and I've been in trouble. I've been arrested for domestic violence. I've been divorced 4 times, and women just they're crazy. They're just mean to me for no reason, and I'm a liar, a cheat, a manipulator, because that's what gets me off. And I hate myself, so it's impossible for me to care about someone else. Would you like to go on a date sometime? They don't do that. And they would never do that. So they have to perpetrate that they're a great person and lead you to believe that this calmness and this peacefulness and holding hands and going on these great dates, this is how your relationship's going to be from now until you die. And it's all a lie. It's a fraud. It's a lie, a lie, a lie. You're being tricked, bamboozled, lied to, manipulated, led to believe that you're a bad person, even though people that love you have never told you that. This fool is telling you that, giving you a long itemized list of all the things that are wrong with you. No, get pissed off and move on. That's what you do. That anger is your fuel to propel you out of that relationship into something better for you. All right? I love you guys. I hope this helps. Bye.